Yo, don't live your life trying to please other people because there's no way that you'll ever be able to please everybody. For me personally, yesterday, a bitch, I'm gonna call her a bitch because she calls herself a bad bitch. She told me what she wanted me to spend some time with her last night, but I couldn't. I said no, and that she wasn't happy about that, but I said no because I have priorities. I had to go to work. I had to make that money. I had other shit to do. I had to go to sleep early, to get up early for work and this sort of thing. And she was not happy about that. She told me to call into work, but for me, that would not be morally correct. I don't want to pretend that I'm sick or something and make somebody cover for me and give the manager stress and all this sort of thing just to sleep with a woman. Like, it's just against my morals. So yeah, that's a little story that happened to me personally with regards to not trying to please other people. Like once again, you'll never be able to please everybody, and when you're succeeding, there's always going to be people who hate on you. And let's not forget, there's a lot of crazy motherfuckers in the world. Like some of the ideology, whether no matter what you believe in, whether you believe in the left, the center, or the right, it's always going to be people who hate you for your political beliefs, first of all, or even if you say you're apolitical, even though technically, no matter what, you're still going to be political to some degree, whether it's uh, believing in whatever that one is called, where you don't think there should be government and it should just be anarchy. I forgot the name of that. Or whether you believe in the left or the right or the center, there's always going to be people who disagree with you and with your belief systems. Because even if you don't have one of those political leanings, you say you're apolitical, you're still going to have a belief system in what you believe is right and wrong. And if you don't have a belief system with what you think is right or wrong, then you really need to reassess your priorities and really understand yourself more deeply as a person and understand what you value in your life. Now, as I said, no matter what your belief system is, there's going to be people who disagree with your belief system. For example, you can believe in a pretty moral belief system. However, there could still be nihilists and hedonists who disagree with your point of view. They hold another point of view, and they may not necessarily live their life as morally as you. Maybe they'll try to backstab you for clout or this sort of thing if you're in the entertainment industry or things like this. If you still live with your parents or if you feel tied down by what your parents say, I want to tell you that you don't owe them anything because it was not you who asked to be brought into the world. That was them who brought you into the world, and it is your life that you're living. Now, having said that, I'm not saying that you should absolutely block out everybody's opinions, everybody's advice, this sort of thing necessarily. That's too extreme. And the reason is this, well, too extreme in my opinion. And the reason is this, because if you're blocking out everybody's opinions and advice, you're gonna miss out on the opinions and advice that would be beneficial to you. I believe that rather, I believe that if you block out everybody's advice, then you are being arrogant, your ego is too big, you're big headed in your ego, and nobody can tell you anything. So it's going to be very, very difficult for you to learn and improve yourself as a person. What I think is a better alternative course of action is to actually have or build humility if you don't have humility. Build humility so then you can listen to advice, whether it's in person or on the internet or whatever, and then logically conclude whether that advice makes sense for you to implement or not. You don't have to let people's opinions emotionally negatively affect you. I'm gonna make some videos on how to let those things affect you less in the future. It's a pretty deep concept, and at least for me, it's a deep concept because that ability did not come to me naturally. So I don't know if it does for other people, but I'm pretty average as a person overall. So most likely, most other people have felt a similar experience where that does not come naturally to them. But the point is, try not to let it affect you too much by using the tools that you have now in order to deal with the negativity that can come from people. If people are being too negative in your life, I would recommend cutting them off. Some people believe in this sort of principle where you are the aggregate of the 5 closest people to you. You take on the average of their personality traits, their behaviors, and this sort of thing. There's actually been studies conducted where if a person has a friend who smokes, then the probability of them starting smoking cigarettes rises drastically. And also there have been studies where if somebody has a fat friend, then the probability of them becoming fat greatly rises. And to go even farther, even deeper, there have been studies that have shown that if somebody has a friend who has a friend that is fat, then the odds of them becoming fat also grow. Now, this is a very interesting subject because it begs the question of whose opinion should you value. Now, that is something that is up to you to decide because at the end of the day, you know your life situation better than anybody else does. You have to think logically and trust yourself with regards to that. I would not recommend trusting other people's advice on who you should spend time with. You should decide that for yourself. And with that being said, that's the end of this video. I hope you have a blessed day. Peace.